Hello and welcome to Spectrum News at 12. I am Frank Zizadet, coming to you live from the beautiful hills of Ibiakuran. Let's take a look at the headlines. President Buhari congratulates Macron on re-election. United Nations condole with Nigeria over Imo refinery explosion. Plus, Sweden says MSMEs has dropped by 2 million in 4 years. Details of these stories and more in a moment. First in the news this afternoon is a report that President Muhammadu Buhari has congratulated his French counterpart Emmanuel Macron for winning his second term in office and making history as the only sitting leader of the country to return in 2 decades. Buhari's congratulatory message was contained in a statement by Senior Special Assistant on Media and Publicity Garba Shehu. President Buhari, who praised the iconic leadership style of the French president, who spent 6 months in Nigeria working as an intern at the French embassy in 2002, assured the French president of Nigeria's support as he continues with his advocacy of humanizing policies, promoting peace and stability, and encouraging development through innovations. In another development, President Muhammadu Buhari has condoled with the family of former Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture, Alabo Graham Douglas, who passed away on Monday, April 25, 2022. Buhari's condolence message is contained in a statement signed by his Special Advisor on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina. According to Adesina, the president sympathizes with the government and people of Rivers State over the loss of the political stalwart, Democrat and administrator who served differently as Minister of Aviation, Minister of Labor and Productivity, and Minister of Tourism, leaving a legacy of distinguished service to the nation. While noting that the investments of the departed in people and building of institutions will be remembered by posterity, Buhari prayed God to grant the departed soul a peaceful rest and comfort his family. Away from that, United Nations has offered condolences to Nigeria and Imo State government and people of Imo State over the Imo illegal refinery explosion. Special representative of the Secretary General and head of the UN Office for West Africa and the Sahel, Muhammad Anandi, conveyed the bloke's sympathy. On legislative matters, the House of Representatives has suspended its plenary scheduled to hold today due to ongoing renovations in the House chambers. In a notice from the House clerk, members and other legislative staff were notified that the session will not hold, adding that a new date will be communicated in due course. The House clerk, however, apologized for all inconveniences. To politics now, where the Vice President Yemi Osibanjo says he would be betraying Nigerians if he does not contest the 2023 presidency. Osibanjo stated this in Ondo while addressing delegates of the All Progressive Congress (LPC) in the state capital, Akure. The Vice President, who restated his commitment to bring about solutions to Nigeria's problems, called on the party faithfuls to support his ambition in the interest of the country. Meanwhile, some People's Democratic Party (PDP) former governors have denounced their consensus candidacy being promoted by 4 presidential aspirants of the party. They argue that such an idea was capable of causing disunity that could affect the opposition party's chances of winning next year's elections. In a statement, the former governors and the stakeholders argued that what the PDP needed most now was a synergy that would result in producing Nigeria's next president in 2023 and not an idea that could result in North-South divide within the party. The former governors are Sule Lamido of Jigawa State, Babangida Aliyu of Niger State, Boni Haruna of Adamawa, and Ibrahim Idris of Kogi State. Reports say former Police Affairs Minister Adamu Waziri, Senator Dino Malaye, and other stakeholders of the PDP also attended the parley. Still in politics, the All Progressive Congress (APC) will today commence the sale of expression of interest and nomination forms for various elective positions ahead of the party's primaries. The NWC also directed that nomination forms for the state legislature should be sold at the state headquarters. APC National Publicity Secretary Felix Morka, who confirmed the development to Newsman, said sales of forms will start today. Reports say the APC National Working Committee, NWC, has also directed organizing secretaries from the 36 states to collect forms for aspirants vying for the State House of Assembly positions, adding that aspirants contesting for National Assembly, governorship and presidential tickets will be sold by the National Secretariat at designated places. Meanwhile, Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has announced new continuous voter registration (CVR) figures. The electoral umpire says there were 8.56 million registrations as at Monday, April 25, 2022. The information is contained in the CVR update for week 2 of quarter 4. Reports say the total figure comprises of both online and physical registrations. Away from that, Chairman, Nigerian Bar Association Ado-Ekiti branch Adeyemi Adewumi has made case for total independence of the judiciary by winning them from dependence on the executive in terms of appointment and finance to avoid arbitrariness and domination. Adewumi, who said the present situation whereby the executive had the authority to appoint judges and magistrates had given it the power to stifle and control the judiciary with impunity, said the trend must change to strengthen democratic and judicature. The NBA chairman, who spoke at a press conference to flag off the branch 2022 Law Week, said the judiciary will never be functional and independent as long as the executive ratifies their appointments and release funds for their operations. Away from that, all Chrisland schools in Lagos have resumed this week in line with a directive from the state government. Recall that the Lagos state government had shut down all branches of Chrisland schools on April 18 over alleged sexual abuse of one of its pupils. In Africa, Burkina Faso military court has started an hearing on the interest of the civil parties in the case of Thomas Sankara and his 12 companions. The lawyers for the civil parties have demanded that the state and the accused be jointly and severely liable and obliged to compensate all the damage suffered by the families. The Sankara family is asking for the symbolic sum of £1 as compensation for damages. Reports say the military court will render its decision on May 10th. In Africa, the United Nations mission in South Sudan says dozens of people have recently been killed in violence that includes beheading and sexual attacks in a volatile country in South Sudan. The mission documented 72 civilian deaths between February 17 and April 7 in Unity State's Lee County. Among the victims was a local staffer with the humanitarian group Doctors Without Borders. The attacks, which were reportedly carried out by armed youth from the neighboring countries of Khark and Mayandit, has 64 cases of sexual violence, including gang rapes. Still to come in the news, Ndidi may miss Leon Stars clash. To stay with us. Much thanks for staying tuned. On the front scene, North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has made a defense speech vowing to ramp up the country's nuclear arsenal. Kim, who made the statement at a military parade to mark the Armed Forces founding anniversary, also displayed banned intercontinental ballistic missiles (ICBMs), while displaying submarine-launched ballistic missiles in addition to hypersonic missiles. Kim also added that North Korea will continue to take steps to strengthen and develop the nation's nuclear capabilities at the fastest pace, adding that their nuclear forces must be ready to be exercised anytime. Recall that in March, North Korea tested its largest known ICBM for the first time since 2017, which sparks wide condemnation from the international community. However, Kim has been undeterred by the condemnation so far. In another development, U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin and military experts say that the United States have made plans to send artillery to Ukraine aimed at degrading Russian forces not only on the immediate battlefield but over the longer term. The United States, France, Czech Republic and other allies are sending scores of the long-range howitzers to help the Ukraine blunt Russia's mounting offensive in the eastern Donbas region. Backed by better air defense, attack drones, and Western intelligence, the Allies hope that Kyiv will be able to destroy a large amount of Russia's firepower in the looming showdown. In addition, satellite images of North Korea firing up activity at its nuclear testing facility in Punggye-ri in March, stoking fears the country would resume testing nuclear weapons and long-range missiles. In business, billionaire entrepreneur Elon Musk has agreed to buy Twitter Incorporated for $44 billion, using one of the biggest leverage buyout deals in history to take the private 16-year-old social networking platform that has become a hub of public discourse and a flashpoint in the debate over online free speech. The company in a statement said that investors will receive $54.20 for each Twitter share they own, which is 38% more than the stock's close on April 1, the last business day before Musk disclosed a significant stake in the company, sparking a share rally. Recall that Musk had on April 14 offered to take Twitter private, saying he will make the platform a bastion of free speech amongst other changes he will make as the new owner. Still on our business news, the Small and Medium Enterprise Development that the number of micro, small and medium enterprises SMEs across the country dropped by about 2 million between 2017 and 2021. Director General Smidan Diko-Rada disclosed this at an event organized by the Transparency Advocacy for Development Initiative in collaboration with Smidan in Abuja, adding that the country's MSMEs reduced from about 41 million in 2017 to 39 million in 2021 due to the impact of COVID-19 and other challenges on small businesses nationwide. Rada also pointed that according to the 2021 MSME survey, there are 39 million MSMEs in Nigeria. This is a significant drop from 41 million MSMEs reported in the 2017 survey report. Now to health. As the world commemorates the 2022 World Immunization Week, a group, Save the Child International in Nigeria, has called on government at all levels and relevant stakeholders to expedite actions towards reducing and ending deaths from vaccine-preventable diseases. The group made the call in a statement made available to newsmen, acknowledging immunization as one of the world's most successful health interventions and expressed optimism that its observance would undoubtedly help save millions of lives. According to the group, this week provides them an opportunity to increase public awareness about the importance of every person's need and rights, including children, girls, women, and people with disabilities, to be protected from vaccine-preventable diseases. We move on now to sports, where Super Eagles midfielder Wilfred Ndidi is a major doubt for Nigeria's 2023 Africa Cup of Nations opening qualifying game against Sierra Leone, as he will be recovering from a knee injury. The midfielder was ruled out for the rest of the season, thereby missing the Eagles' Qatar 2022 World Cup playoffs against Ghana in March, as the squad failed to qualify for the Mondial for the first time in 16 years. According to Leicester City manager Brendan Rodgers, Ndidi will not be back for the Foxes' last game of the season against Southampton in May. Also, there are speculations that the Nigerian will only return to training, not full fitness, on May 31. The Eagles are in Group A along with Sierra Leone, Guinea-Bissau and Sao Tome and Principe or Mauritius, with the first two teams in the group making an automatic qualification for the AFCON. On our entertainment news, former Big Brother Niger housemate Olamilekan Moshood, popularly known as Lekan, has slammed the Nigerian government over the state of the nation. The reality TV star made this known via his Twitter page while reacting to the strike led by the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, that has left series of Nigerian students in home. According to him, he said, "I'm really scared. What kind of government is this? As universities have closed, they have closed for months, and this made the focus on election remain the only thing that the government cares about." Recall that at the end of the warning strike in March, the academic union proceeded to another 2 months industrial action, among other demands. The union called for fixing distortions in salary payment challenges, providing funds for revitalizing public universities, providing an academic allowance,